Also, what's interesting, I've been doing lots of formats of events because that was the main tool of how we fulfill the funnel. We have no advertising, like apply for the investments. That didn't work at all. But we had lots of different types of events, from small one in 2 hours to 3 days workshops, working hard on your project, like startup weekend or something like that. And we used that tools for creating a funnel. And I will be talking about how it works and didn't work. Okay. That's a small plan. First of all, I want to talk about some specificity of startup market. And here, I'm not sure you have the same, because it also have some cultural and historical specificity. But maybe some of the things also bring you some insights about your market. Then, I will talk about the pipeline itself, and I will give you a few ideas of frameworks with which you can analyze your pipeline and analyze your market to maybe to structure some information. And a few insights, I hope, insights. Okay, what I've met with. First of all, if we are talking about very exact city, the startup market, sometimes even the country. Startup market, it's not so big. Like after you're acting on it for 5, 6, or even sometimes 2, 3 years, you already have a feeling you know everybody. For me, that was very frustrating because it was like very, very close market, but you need to find more. You need to somehow find some hidden founders, and you do not understand how to find them. And we were thinking with my team lots of time about that. The second thing is, I want you to ask, is it the same in your markets? Firstly, we thought that people who programming, who are IT developers, the same will be founders of IT startups. And then it happens, they are not. They are being employed in Google, Facebook, whenever, like big IT company, but they are not founders. And for me, it was a surprise because we were trying to do hackathons and some other formats more close to the world of IT, and then realized there are not those guys who later become founders. And for me, that was a surprise. I don't know. I see people, people doing like that. The other thing is that if in terms of marketing and understanding how you are finding founders, it's something between B2B and B2C. Because on one hand, you are reaching a founder and it's an exact person with some behavior, but finally, usually they have a team, they decide and make some solutions all together, and when you are trying to sell this team some accelerating program for your investments, they are acting as a B2B client. You need to have few meetings, you need to have trust, and all the stuff around B2B sales. A bit strange because, you know, more B2C market, but it's not. Be careful here. The thing we also teach our startups that you are successful when you are creating a pain. And it looks like a creating incubation program, and sometimes even money from VC, it's not a painkiller. You can't survive without them. And that's why it's also sometimes very difficult to sell our services. Also, please tell me with your voice or doing like that or doing like that. In our country, we deal we doubt a lot with entrepreneurs who have no ambitions to build really big companies. And when you're talking about VCs and accelerators who are dealing with some early stage and fast-growing companies, we want founders to have ambitions to be around of countries and being a really big company. But I've met lots of people who are trying to conquer the market of their small city. And that's the main ambition for them. Yeah, I see you're also agreeing. Yeah, that's the problem. Because sometimes, just in the mind, because I've seen lots of time, I don't know if you're practicing that, when you are pushing the founder to count the maximum possible market and the maximum money they can earn, that it's too small. And sometimes I've seen founders were closing their business and understanding that their ambition to have a business in this city is like having very small business. Why I'm doing that? It's not like, what's going on?
Of the show.
It was good. It's very dramatic than people believe, and lead the team. Do not understanding that they have like not very big ambitions even to pay salaries to that team. So that was also a problem. And the last thing is very relevant to the having this market between B2C and B2B. We can't make efficient advertising because we have no social media channels where you can tick, like, be an entrepreneur and creating adverts for them. Usually these people are employed somewhere. They do not write in it in the profile, even in LinkedIn, and you have no tools for digital performance. And it didn't work. I don't know if you have cases of working ads for this market, please share with all us, because it's like, I'm very curious. Okay, the pipeline. Let me tell you what is written on these slides, because it's in my language, sorry, I didn't translate the photo. One founder from our portfolio, before he got investments from us, and he got like not only pre-seed, but also seed, and later round A from our venture fund I was working in. Before that, he visited 3 annual conferences, and only after that, he was like inside the portfolio. And it's looking like pretty good. He was visiting some our activities, some conferences we created, and then received the invitation to the fund and investments. But it's a real customer journey he had. Let me translate. I'm sorry I'm not translating that, but it doesn't matter. Here is lots of events he visited, apart from that 3 conferences. Here is like letters, every week letters he opens. Yellow one, it's like individual meetings with some of the employees of venture fund. And only like here, we decided that we should invest in them. And they decided to agree with us. So finally, when you are looking, if you have like marketing and marketing analysts in the team, and you are dealing with early stage, when you will come back to analysis of the customer journey and all touches the founder has, I don't know, I was overwhelmed with that. Even being a part of marketing team, it was like my sphere of responsibility. I was like, okay, how many touches we have before we make that decision? Touch means money, people resources, etc. And it looks more severe than this pretty nice slide with like 3 pages, you know? That means a whole team was working to make this great founder become our investment, like to invite it in the portfolio. So what we also understood, as we were working within lots of cities, and my team was in 12 cities, even more in some moments, we understand that we have no choice apart from having exact person in exact city being inside the local startup community, knowing each other. The only thing really works. Because when you come and then fly back and once again come, nobody think about you. It doesn't work. And the other thing, we understood that we need both online formats and offline formats. That was before COVID. Online wasn't as popular as now. And we realized from our analytics that more than half of the founders have lots of touches before they sit down with the investor on one table. And more than half founders have a very long customer journey. It's around a year before first touch, table with investor. For us, it was overwhelming. We were investing aggressively once again, and that was okay, if we have so long way, we need to provide our fund with some pipeline next year. We should be already working right now, So it was our analytics makes us thought about very thoughtful planning. And the thing that was the most important, we understood that the only thing which can help us to generate pipeline is working with the local startup community. And especially in our country, and I feel like it can be in not small and cities, some acceleration programs, some startups, you need to think about next batch. And that's why you need to think about some people who may be right now on the stage of idea, but in few months they will be on the stage. So you are going up the current all the time. So that was the most difficult thing from us. Let me tell you a little bit of insights why we need few touches. It's much more about testing and even accelerator or incubator being a B2B service. First of all, all of our support programs, let me tell the very general name of the we are doing. It's a complicated product. Need some time from founders to decide. Sometimes they need to come back to their team. Sometimes they need to come back to their early investors to approve that they are okay for the new investors, or they are okay to having some time in incubation program. So it's not like one founder deciding in the moment reading your article in the newspaper. Nope. They need some space to decide that. Another thing, all of that need trust, especially if you are investing, because it's some people you don't know being on the board of my company. And once again, you need to talk about with your team, with your maybe previous investors. Maybe you need time to check if these guys I can trust. It can be, you need to check the reputation. So once again, it's need time and some information. Also, I don't know how it works in your countries. In Russia, where I worked mostly, and our closest neighboring countries, once again, due to some historical issues, we do not have habit to involve consultancy in our life. People earlier do not have money for that. It wasn't allowed. You should do everything by yourself. In communistic countries, for example, even if you have a car, you fix it yourself. I mean, my parents and my grandparents, if they have some machines or cars. And that's, once again, no pattern of having any consultancy. That's not about cars. That's about having a habit of having consultants who help you with some issues. If you have the same in your countries, in your culture, also keep that in the mind, that you need to explain why consultancy work, why you can trust, why does it work for you. Because we really put lots of time in explaining why and how consultancy works. And our support programs are mostly about consultancy in general, you know. And the thing we also founders of early stage, even sometimes seed companies, are not working, sometimes are not working full time on their startups. They are being employed, I don't know, in Google, and at nights in their business. And for us as support programs, of course, and especially if we are investing, we need them to be full-time. And for that, also, you need some time. You need to sort out where you will have salary from, how you will be acting with your family, how your life will change. So that also needs some time. Once again, that finally, like it's some ups in that people will make that decisions not for days, but for months, not even for weeks, for months, because that all of that needs. And the thing we are understood from analytics, it's a funny thing. When you touch a lot a founder, there will be once a trigger when he will be like, okay, I'm done, I agree. I am applying to your acceleration program. Or, okay, I am agree to have your money from your VC fund. And you have, of course, we have some ideas about how does it work. For example, we have, from analytics, we saw that very exact people from our company acts like triggers. The meeting with them or event with them, with exact people, finally lead people to the solution. If you are doing more than, I don't know, 10 deals or 10 startups in your acceleration program per year, please think about that, because that can pretty much accelerate you in receiving good pipeline. If you know who is your colleague has most charisma and expertise, I don't know, both works. Sometimes charisma is even more. Just include this person in the events, include this person in individual meetings, because sometimes you need it to push, to make this final decision. That was a big surprise for me, because I was thinking it's like a drop, okay, it's full, but it's not. Sometimes you have this aha moment when person understands that, okay, I trust them. And after that, everything is happening. The thing I want to speak a little bit, we've seen in our market two types of working with startup community, especially in cities where there are not so many startup players, but some startup ecosystem players from capitals are coming in. The first one is, for me, is not very ecologically true, because sometimes some funds or acceleration programs, some global one, are coming in the city, gathering all startups and run. And in a year, they come once again, do this gathering, and go away. If you are tech stars, that's the only way you can do, maybe. But if you are the player on the ground and live in this city, we have no other chance, and that's more sustainable. By one hand, you are gathering startups. By other hand, you are growing new one. It's pretty much like harvesting. Here you are gathering your harvest, and here you need to put seeds in the ground, so a bit later you once again have something together. So that was very important for us, and that's why we've had so many types of events, because we were trying to put seeds and to grow it, to grow, because later we once again have called to apply our acceleration program, and we need somebody to apply there. We were very interested in that. Okay, and now frameworks. I will show you a few, and one of it, with one of it, you will be working today in the group session. The first matrix my team was working in with ourselves, because it was 10 years ago. Nothing exists, frankly speaking. It wasn't. We need something to structure the startup activities in each city we were working in. So we were implementing and using that in the scale of one city, just to understand. It's a matrix. It's rather simple. Here you have some like target audience, which can be later or right now be your pipeline. Some students, once again, developers, IT geeks. That time we believed they will become founders, but they're not. Sometimes, but very rare. One more like target audience, experienced entrepreneurs, and here we mean not experience in IT. We meant like some people who have entrepreneurial experience, even if that was a shop or a cafe. So it's some entrepreneurial experience, not IT. It can be any. And here was like some startups inside corporates. That doesn't matter. The thing is, you have some segments of your target audience. That can be another, you know. And here, it's like steps of development of startups. First of all, it's involvement into startup market. Students should do that. You have an opportunity to start a business. Guys, frankly speaking, also have no idea how to launch if you have an idea. Usually they program in that, but it's not the thing they need to do, you know, better than me, etc. These guys sometimes need to understand how their regular business, their operational business differs from product business, from IT business. And here, other steps like idea generation, creating MVP and first sales, finding product market fit, scaling. It can be another. It's just an example. We use it like that. And what happened next? You have such a matrix, and whoa, I haven't got an example. But let me tell you just thoroughly. And after that, you are writing down which formats, events, support programs, any type of startup initiatives you have in sector. For example, we have some event for IT geeks, ideas for businesses in our city. And for all metrics is the same. And when you fulfill that, you will see some gaps. That means there is some space to new startup initiatives, or maybe you will see in some sector too much events and gaps. That means that you have some step missed. And that is very important when we were analyzing a city. Should we enter it and have activities there, and which exact activities we need to have in this city as a fund? We do that because we need to understand. It's like analysis of exact city startup community. Today we will be working with a bit more complicated canvas. I found it in Founder Institute webpage. That's very nice. It's much more complicated. It has some more sales evangelists, government, how talents are included, success stories you can refer to, and you don't see what is there. You will have it on each table, and do that. The thing is that I want you later in group workshop to analyze your country in terms of having gaps and deficits, and maybe having too much programs in some sectors, because sometimes it's too much competition in the stage of dealing with, I don't know, scales up or maybe seed companies, and no one is dealing with pre-seed. Okay, where pre-seed comes, where seed comes from if we have no activities with the earlier stage. So that's why we'll be working with such thing later after lunch. We also were talking and structuring our activities in 2 phases. Okay, we know we have some leads here means founders. Leads generating activities, conferences, some open events where you can register and come. And later, we need to have some activities with one-to-one talking with the founder to understand if we can invite him in our program or invest in them. And we called it like diagnostics. And we thought, and we tested that hypothesis in 5 or 6 cities for half of the year, maybe a little bit longer, that will be logical. You come to the conference, have in there, and have individual meeting with someone from our fund, better with the trigger person, and yeah, we are done. Nope, that doesn't work. And I will tell you why. Because once again, I haven't got this slide here, because of that. Because the customer journey of founder much more complicated than one conference and one meeting with the trigger person. So it looks very nice as a logic, but it doesn't work. So we created another framework to implement. And it looks like that. Firstly, inspire founders with some great case. Because people feel like their ambitions are growing when they see some people from their city or their country being successful. You know that, I know. After that, a tricky thing. What we were doing, we were the first in our country who talked a lot on free events about customer development and lean startup methodology. And we were like evangelists of that methodology. We've made lots of events trying to teach entrepreneurs to act lean methodology, to make customer experience, to make them talking with their clients before they starting to program in that. And that was our secret, because people started get involved not only with success cases of some other founders, but also being addicted to that methodology. We used it like, I don't know, like a hook. Look, you can do that with these steps. Our brain likes simplicity pretty much. We need some algorithms. And all this methodology, it's about algorithms. And after that, founders understand that they are not entering like accelerator with some other guys and do not understanding what will happen there. But they understood, okay, there I will work with this methodology deeper. And that was the thing we were selling. It was not about money. It was not about co-working space we were providing an accelerator. It was about providing a consultancy plus methodology as an algorithm of working, especially for those IT guys who need some algorithm. They have very structured mind. You know, these IT guys creating very great products later. They need to have some steps. So that stuff was working. The one more matrix you can use, I think it's much more helpful for big organizations who have, but I think maybe not only big. Here, 2 parts. Here it's like how many startups per year we want to touch. And here, deep, we want to impact them. For example, if it's one-day conference or even, I don't know, online webinar, the impact is very low. If we are talking about 3 months acceleration program with mentors, blah, 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 it's a serious impacting. So you can somehow structure your activities depending on how many founders and how deeply we can impact. And when you will look at that, you can choose what is your spot, how you need what are the formats you need to gain the aims of your organization. And the approach, which is a bit more complicated, but being a marketing manager I like most. I don't know if you implement that with startups founders, because it can also be used with founders talking about marketing. It's IRR pipeline. What is IRR pipeline? It's 6 steps of involvement client. The first one is awareness, that client knows about you. You will receive all presentations later, so I think photos will not be very good. After that, you need to acquire client. You need to have it at your email base, or I don't know, somehow make your first touch where you interact with each other, online or offline. After that, you need to activate the client. You need to tell about your exact services and receive his okay, I'm in or I'm not. And here are steps like revenue, receiving money from them. For us, it's coming into the acceleration program or something else. Yeah, we haven't got exact revenue from them, but okay, they need to come in, maybe to give some part of their capital for us, yeah, if we're investing. Then retention, if we have few want them to buy something else from us. I don't know, it was pre-seed acceleration program, and then you have seed acceleration program, for example. And referral, about do they recommend your program to other founders? It's not easy, but believe me, it structures very well the activities of your marketing team. I can show you an example. We have, I think some of you know, we have 2 awards. One of them, Aurora Tech Award, it's an international prize, money prize and mentorship program for women entrepreneurs. We are attracting women founders all around the world, then score them, and then the best one receive money prize and mentorship program from us. To do that, we need some marketing, sure. It's a support program, but we need to create a pipeline to that. Somehow people and women entrepreneurs should know about that. So that's why we have here like media, some offline events, participating in conferences. It's a step of awareness. After that, we understood that step of acquisition and activation is the same for us. Sometimes it's not, but for this program, I just make them one step. What we have here, already they know about us. We are waiting for them in our events. They receive regular emails from us, so we're making them more and more warm. After that, not after that, simultaneously, they can be in our social media channels. I don't know, reading our Instagram, for example. Once again, making them warmer and warmer. It's about warming your leads and making them finally hot. And after that, we have a revenue step. It's applying for support. So they need to apply for our support program. After that, we want some retention. That's why we are dealing with the alumni club, and that also in referral, inviting finalists speaking on our events, so creating some space. They will recommend us to next women entrepreneurs. So if you want to use that and use, we do not are not having an exercise about that, but I'm a big evangelist of this tool. If you want, I can later talk about that with you. So please be free to contact me if you want to discuss. It's a very nice tool for marketing, believe me. All the team finally understand the steps. it really works good, even for discussion inside the team. Okay, and I think it's the last slide. Why I am pushing you to use some frameworks to analyze your funnel of startups. First of all, structuring helps you to understand the situation on the market and situation with your exact marketing of your organization. Structuring, by the way, helping the team being clear with the aims, understanding what they are doing each exact days. Because if you have this stuff, your marketing manager will be understanding what resources he or she needs, why they need these resources, and what are the steps to invite really great founders inside the programs. Also, I'm showing this stuff like IRR pipeline to my bosses. Like, okay, guys, you're asking why I'm asking for additional budget for a designer for social media. Because we can't do the pipeline if we haven't got these steps of warming up leads. So it helps us to get more resources if we are depending on some resources. All of us are depending on some resources. Better to say if our bosses or someone who is giving us money, asking why do you need this money, where you will invest them in. And I'm speaking investing not in startups, investing in like operational part. Yeah, manage the teamwork. And of course, if we're talking about the matrix of city startup community or matrix of country startup community, that really helps us to see some gaps and understand why we don't have startups of some stage. Because sometimes we are looking in this matrix and understand that, okay, there is nobody who is working with ideation. There is nobody who is working with the stage of having MVP, but not having still sales. And of course, you can create some formats helping people with the minimum valuable product to do this first sales. It can be whatever we know, any workshop, any webinars, whatever. And that can help market to be a little bit more balanced, you know? Yeah, that's all. If you have any question, please ask me.